Staffing and recruitment expenses. Traditional staffing companies versus cloud big data. This video helps the independent contract recruiters to understand the staffing and recruitment expenses difference between traditional staffing companies and cloud big data. Why cloud big data can only pay maximum 40% recurring incentive. You should understand that cloud big data takes care of all onshore and offshore business operating expenses, and hence cloud big data can only pay maximum 40% of the vendor margin as recurring incentive to independent contract recruiters. Staffing and recruitment expenses. Traditional staffing companies versus cloud big data. For business development executives, salaries for traditional staffing companies 5%. For account managers, salaries for traditional staffing companies 5%. Recruiters' salaries for traditional staffing companies 12%. Job boards for traditional staffing companies 3%. Total staffing and recruitment expenses for traditional companies is 25%. For cloud big data is 40%. Staffing and recruitment expenses of traditional companies. Expenses of business development executives, salaries for developing new clients, 5%. Expenses of account managers, salaries for acquiring requirements and client support, 5%. Expenses of recruiters, salaries for sourcing, screening and recruiting, 12%. Expenses of job boards, 3%. Total expenses, 5% plus 5% plus 12% plus 3% equals 25%. Traditional companies' total staffing and recruitment expenses is just 25% only, while cloud big data's total staffing and recruitment expenses is 40%. Why cloud big data can pay only 40% recurring incentive. Cloud big data takes care of onshore business expenses. Payroll administration expenses. H-1B transfer expenses. Legal immigration expenses. United States taxation expenses. External legal and audit expenses. Expenses for liability insurances in United States. Commercial general liability insurance. Automobile liability insurance. Umbrella liability insurance. Workers' compensation and employers' liability insurance. Professional liability insurance. Third-party fidelity bond insurance. Contract management expenses. Account receivables expenses. Account payables expenses. Invoicing and billing expenses. Office rents, equipment, supplies, maintenance expenses. Technology infrastructure expenses. Technical support expenses. Advertising, promotion, training expenses. Cloud big data takes care of offshore business expenses. ICR application processing and support expenses. ICR payroll administration expenses. Office rents, equipment, supplies, maintenance expenses. India taxation expenses. Why cloud big data can pay only 40% recurring incentive. You should understand that cloud big data takes care of all onshore and offshore business operating expenses, and hence cloud big data can only pay maximum 40% of the vendor margin as recurring incentive to independent contract recruiters. Cloud big data is outsourcing only just the recruitment operations to our 6,500 plus independent contract recruiters across India. Since cloud big data pays 40% of the corp-to-corp vendor margin as recurring incentive, so every independent contract recruiters will get their own client requirements and source the consultants on their own. Since cloud big data paying 40% of the corp-to-corp vendor margin as recurring incentive profit sharing, Every independent contract recruiters need to fulfill multiple roles and responsibilities, such as a recruiter, business development specialist and account manager to get your own client requirements, consultants, and achieve placements. Do not submit your candidates to Cloud Big Data VMS portal requirements because those independent contract recruiters who posted their own requirements already put margin to Cloud Big Data on those requirements. If you again work on those, it will be like a double margin. At Cloud Big Data, you can either work on your own client requirements, or you can market and place your own hot list consultants, or you can do both. Both approaches are fine. Finally, achieving a placement is important. If you do not have own client or vendor contacts, then you can market and place your own hot list consultants as well. (6,500) independent contract recruiters and franchise owners are part of Cloud Big Data. First time ever in staffing industry. On each placement, Cloud Big Data pays you 40% of the corp-to-corp vendor margin. All achievers earn up to $2,500 joining bonus. All achievers get free holiday trips to Thailand, Singapore, Dubai, Mauritius, and Europe. Start your own franchise with Cloud Big Data. Earn more than 1 crore per year. Just achieve monthly 1 placement. Earn up to $8,064 per month. Across India. Hundreds of RICRs. Earning up to $8,064 per month. Join as independent contract recruiter today with Cloud Big Data. Visit our video channel www.cloudbigd.com/channel.